I work with a bunch of Pittsburgh fans, and they got nothing nice to say about Baltimore.
It's just like I know some Raven fans. Give a shout out to my boy Tech, also known as Technician. He is a huge Ravens fan, and if you say anything about the Steelers, he will say, "Fuck the Steelers."
Yeah. It's the same thing down here. They say fuck Ravens. But like you said, it's very tough, man. It's a very tough call.
Okay, so we're gonna move on, and Cody, I should be right about this. The South: Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and the Titans. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so who is gonna win the South? I think it's gonna be the Colts, the Texans, the Titans, and then Jaguars.
I don't know, man. Well,
what is your predictions looking like?
The Colts are a good team. They hit bumps in the road like everybody else. But see, for me being a Sean Watson fan and everything, but I'm just saying, Houston, they got talent. They always had talent. It's just that they really had problems with their quarterback. I mean, come on, you got J.J. Watt, the captain of the defense. He always rallies them and everything else. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. He's like the Ray Lewis for the Texans.
An albino Ray Lewis without the murder. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. It's going to be a tougher first. But, I followed the Texans way before Deshaun came in. When DeAndre Hopkins came in, I've been watching the Texans. But
especially when they had that giant goose egg against the Chiefs in the playoffs a couple years back, too.
Oh, boy, man. Yeah, man. So, I'm going to have to go with the Texans. I'm going to have to go with the Colts, Titans, and the Jaguars.
It's just so tough. Like, I would honestly question that, dude. But, dude, it's such another tough division to call it who's going to win it. So, we're going to move on to the last AFC conference, and will be the West. The Chiefs, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers.
All right.
Yeah, so Raiders picked up Cordell Patterson from the Vikings. They got rid of Murray, which is their running back that went to the Vikings for this trade. And then they got Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch, Power Pellet Skittle Eating Monster.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. So this is my West. The Raiders were dominant last year until the injury, until the Colts got salty and broke white guy's leg. So Carr is, I think if they send them out at least like the last 2 games and they're doing that good as they did last year, they are going to win that division and possibly go to the AFC. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to put Raiders first. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put the Chargers in second. The Chiefs I'm going to actually put the Broncos in third and the Chiefs in last.
What?
Yes. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm putting the Chargers. I see a bunch of potential in the Chargers this year. They have been laying down and being bullied in this division for years. And I think there's going to be more fight to this team with the rookies they picked up. I see something turning around in the Chargers. I think they're going to be second.
Well, they're definitely going to be to look at. I know that.
Chiefs, I just don't. The Chiefs are good, but again, they're inconsistent. And when you're winning a game, then losing 2 or 3 the next couple games, and then winning a couple.
Playoffs, they blow it.
Exactly. So, and the Broncos, they're still struggling at quarterback, and I think it's going to be like this until they get on the same page chemistry-wise. What is your West looking like, Cody?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Oakland. I was going to put the Chiefs second. But, with the Broncos having their problems with the quarterback, I was going to put them last.
Okay.
Because ever since Peyton left, they went.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how they were. I mean, until Horseboy, and I'm not talking about Brad Keselowski. I'm talking about the owner. And after he retired, Elway retired, and then Peyton Manning retired, they don't have a general at quarterback. You know, they don't have a shot caller. Rated, do you have any predictions in the West, or you good?
I'm good.
Okay, so that will do it for the NFL part of the cast. We're gonna move on to NBA, and we're gonna talk about LeBron James now. LeBron James, like that meme or that Vine or whatever.
LeBron James.
LeBron
James.
Oh, jeez. So there's talk about him and Mike Jordan. Jordan being kind of scared to take his legacy over and beat him stats. Listen, they played in 2 different eras, and the Bulls were a totally different team than the Cavs or the Heat. And you know, you could have so many rings and stuff, but in my eyes, the real MVP is Bill Russell. That dude had like 11 freaking rings back in the day. And so my question, and I'm going to start with you first, Cody. Does LeBron James deserve more respect from Michael Jordan for being a player?
To be honest, you know, Michael Jordan, I watched him. I had to be honest. I watched Michael Jordan growing up. You know, that's just when we were watching basketball or whatever. But see, like, I really don't think. LeBron James is a really good player, okay? I mean, I can't take that away from him. I just don't think that he should be in about the same boat as Michael Jordan.
Okay, I respect your decision on that.
I mean, come on, Michael Jordan. He was, in his prime, he was dominant, man.
Yes, he was.
In the late '80s, in the '90s, and come on, man. I mean,
all those people he had. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, Scottie Pippen. You had oh shit.
I can't think of his name, but he had He even had Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
Another big guy. I can't think of what his name was. But
Yeah, but him.
It's
Michael
2
Jordan
different
and
eras.
Scottie Pippen. You know, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen were the dynamic duo at that time.
Oh, by far. And now rated, I know Chicago. I'm not a mind reader, but I can probably understand what your answer is. Does LeBron deserve more respect from Jordan? I just want to give everyone a fair shot in their speech time, but I kind of know what the answer is. So what's your answer?
If you know my answer, then why don't you go ahead and say it?
Man, I don't want to say it because I'm not you.
Oh, but I give you permission to, because you know my answer. So.
Yeah, definitely a big NO on that part. So
wait. Actually, let me rephrase that. I'm gonna go. Here's my answer. Hell no. To the no.
Hell to the no.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
You got my answer.
Okay, so. Okay, another big stuff from Shannon Sharp. MJ and Kobe know what it's like to lose in the first round. LeBron doesn't know how that feels. And this is so deep that it is. And he cries about it. If he lost in the first round, dude, I don't know what the hell he would do. He'd probably just retire. And another thing is, LeBron James cannot be stopped. This is from Skip Bayless. LeBron James cannot be stopped, but he can be bothered. And one man, and let me know if you guys think about it, Kawhi Leonard from the Spurs. How true is this, Cody? What do you think?
To be honest, I ain't got a clue, man.
No, really? Okay. Kawhi Leonard is a decent. He's a pretty good player for the Spurs, but if he gets on another team or if the Spurs can build, that is going to really put a thorn in LeBron James' side.
Are you talking about if Kyrie goes to the Spurs?
If Kyrie does go to the Spurs, I'm saying if they build a team and Leonard is still as dominant as he's been.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think he'll be a thorn on LeBron's side.
Definitely. And then the last thing I want to talk about this is Kobe Bryant has won this category as a poll for the last 10 years. Think about this. Okay, and I'm going to ask you guys both, who do you want with the ball in the final seconds of the game? This is questioned like this. Who do I want with the ball in my hands at the end of the game? Kobe Bryant was the answer from Skip Bayless. Last thing I want is LeBron James. I could not agree with this anymore. What do you say, Cody?
I mean, who else you gonna have?
Jesus can ball probably. I don't know.
I mean, he probably could. Look, the thing about LeBron, man, you know, when he first started out, I mean, he made such an impact in the NBA and everything, and it took him a while to win a ring. Okay, so he went to Miami, got him a ring, and then, yeah, come on, he is a really good basketball player. He really is, but the only problem with him is that he is a ball hawk. He tries hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, you gotta try hard, okay? But
yeah.
You got teammates.
Die hard or try hard?
A little bit of both.
But I'm gonna have to say he's a die-hard, try-hard.
There you go.
But to be honest, to answer your question, no, I don't agree with it.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, I'm going to rant because I'm really
no. You're fine, dude. This is why we're talking about this.
I'm sorry, but I mean, if you really want my honest opinion, I would say screw LeBron James.
You heard it from the Rampage Clemson Tiger himself, ladies and gentlemen. Raiden, what do you think about this?
I was going to say something else, but I'll try to be a little not so bad.
Yeah, I respect that. So, Raiden, what do you think about this? Kobe Bryant with the ball in his hands in the final seconds, and LeBron James no shots.
I gave it to Kobe. I'd rather pass the ball to Kobe.
All right, so I like that. I think that's a great point right there. You know, I mean, LeBron is a good player, but I just don't respect him for who he is. So we're going to move on from that. So, Cody, I understand you have some updates on Kyrie Irving wanting to play for a certain team and certain other teams that might try and put an offer out for him.
Yeah, but, you know, like I said, I was just reading up some things and everything else.
Excuse me.
Predictions could be the Knicks. I mean, well, it wasn't a prediction. It was rumors. Rumor has it that that he would like to go to New York to play for the Knicks. I think that could be a good deal for him. But then again, you got Melo wanting to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he wants to go to Cleveland, but I mean, I really think him going to New York will be better for him. The Knicks have some good players. Not a lot of big names, not that I know of. But I really think it's going to be a good idea. I think it'll be good for him if he went to New York. But then again, also rumor has it that the Spurs might be interested.
Bunch of trade rumors.
I mean, there's a lot of trade rumors going on. But like I said, it's either going to be New York, because that's what sources say or whatever, that he's interested in looking to go to the Knicks.
And that's the only team that's been honestly the biggest thing, because look at the Suns said they might want to get him and trade Eric Bledsoe, but none of this has been confirmed. So Kyrie could be still playing in Cleveland this season. You never know. So let's talk about Carmelo Anthony for a second. Only accepting trades from Houston. Honestly, he's wanting to play for Houston because got Chris Paul and the Beard himself, James Harden, and I think they still have Dwight Howard too. But you got a big man. So is this a good or bad move? Only wanting trades from Houston.
Well, it's definitely a gamble. I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, if Houston has to think. Look, you got the Beard, you got CP3, and you got Dwight Howard, and you got someone like Melo. If they pick up Melo, I really think that'd be I really think that'd be a dominant team. But then again, like I said, it's a gamble. I mean, I understand that you want to be traded, but why choose only one team?
That is a good question. So we'll have to see how that plays out. See if he's still playing for the Knicks before the season, because NBA is not that far from starting back up. So we'll see what happens. Let's move on. Gordon Hayward to the Celtics. Came from Utah. Very good player. Another great player for Boston. Do you see Boston giving Cleveland more of a hassle if they make it to the playoffs? Another repeat matchup?
I think so.
I mean, I like the Celtics when they had that God Squad going on a while back. So I would like to see the Celtics move on and at least, put a Game 7 on Cleveland, because, it's just a great show. So we're going to move on. Chris Paul to the Rockets. Okay, so he was playing for the Clippers for a long time. Clippers have really honestly gone nowhere in that time. Is a good or bad move for Chris Paul going to the Rockets?
I think that might be a good move for him.
And it's going to put them, their guards are stacked now.
Yeah, I mean, come on. He was really going nowhere with the Clippers. And neither is Blake Griffin, but then, he signed that deal with him. But
yeah,
I just say, I really think he was going nowhere with the Clippers. But him going to Houston, I think that would make a huge impact.
And it kind of puts takes some stress relief off of Harden trying to do everything from up top. So, and then they got Beverly too. They have all these good talent on that team. So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting year in sports. All these trades from NFL to NBA. So next thing is Jimmy Butler traded, went to the Timberwolves. Is this gonna hurt the Bulls, because they really don't have anyone now? And how big of an impact is this gonna help the Timberwolves, because they got Karl Anthony Towns, also known as the Big Cat. They got Jimmy Butler. They don't have Ricky Rubio anymore. They have a Wiggins as well, Andrew Wiggins. They have a upcoming team. Is how deep does this affect both teams, especially the Timberwolves?
Well, since you pretty much named all them players and everything, and they're getting Jimmy Butler in, I really think that they're going to be solid. If they get Jimmy Butler and everything, I think he'll be a good asset for them too. But I definitely had to agree with you, because I think it will hurt the Bulls.
The Bulls really have no one, because they got Tom Thibodeau, a former Bulls coach. They have Taj Gibson too, another big man down there. So the Bulls are honestly losing everything. It's like they're almost going bankruptcy with their star players.
Pretty much.
And that's sad when a fellow guy from Chicago tells you that the team has gone nowhere since Jordan has retired from the Bulls. And last thing I want to talk about for NBA is Derrick Rose moving to the Cavs, played for the Bulls, went to the Knicks, and now the Knicks have traded him to the Cavaliers. Do you see any boost of confidence against the Warriors when they play the old Warriors again? Will Derrick Rose be an impact player for LeBron James and company?
If he stays healthy.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean,
it's going to be thing. That's a risk because he's had, his ankle's broken and everything else.
It just seems like every time D Rose gets to play, he always gets hurt. So,
exactly. So,
as long as he stays healthy,
you got a good point with that.
Yeah. He'll be getting good.
I know from experience with the broken ankles, because I have one. Got squeezed in my ankle, holding it in place. You can't be making no fast play moves. You want to ice that, keep it elevated. If he want to get into the game and be a threat to somebody, you're going to have to make sure he stay on point.
Very good point right there, dude.
Save-a-hoe.
Yeah.
So not much has happened in the open wheel racing community. All off weeks. F1 will be at Spa in 2 weeks. IndyCar will be at Pocono. I will have more updates on that when those races go down, especially the Pocono race coming up this weekend. So we're not going to talk about any open wheel this week. So we're going to move on to one of my favorite sports, and the final topic we're going to talk about is NCAA football. Around 20-something days before tip-off, we're going to talk about Week 1 predictions right now. Kickoff. So I have a couple. I'm not going to list off a bunch of teams, and we will talk about Michigan here in a minute. Clemson and Kent State. I don't know who Kent State has anymore. And Cody, I know you're a Clemson fan, and you guys lost some key players.
Yep.
I know you guys are probably going to get the W. How bad do you think it's going to be?
Since we got home field advantage, then again, like I said, first start of the season, we had a rough start. We barely made it out of the jump. But I really think it's going to be an easy win for us. But, we got Sean left, Mikey Williams left. And, we have a lot of, we still got Winfro. He's still going to be a good asset and everything.
The Fro.
But I really think we're going to get this dub and everything else.
I really wanted to see more matchups between them and Alabama, honestly.
Yeah, but like I said, we're going to be a young ball team this year. And then, we lost a lot of key players on defense too. But, like I said, we're still going to be a young ball team. I think, all these freshmen and second strings from this year and everything. I mean, like I said, we still got, we still got threats. But like I said, if next year, like I said, it might be a slow year, but next year we'll definitely be picked up and getting into business.
All right. So Maryland plays Texas too. I don't know who Texas really has anymore, and Maryland has been struggling, so I think that's going to be a close game. I give Maryland the edge only because they have more experienced players. So that'll be interesting to see who wins that game, just because it's a Big Ten thing, and that affects everybody too, especially with the Big 12 in Texas. So then we're going to move on to some other games. Tulsa and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, go Barry Sanders. I think Oklahoma State still has some decent juniors and seniors. And Tulsa, I don't know who they have. And I'm sorry for not doing my homework. Who do you see winning this game, Cody?
I definitely had to go with OK State.
Okay, I think I would do the same. So then we're going to talk about, and this one I think is going to be an upset. Ohio State and Indiana. If you guys didn't watch it, Indiana almost came back and beat Ohio State like Penn State did to them. And I think, honestly, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. Ohio State lost a lot of good players in the draft this year.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think they're ready. It's going to take them a while to get situated in chemistry with everybody. I think I see Indiana pulling this off. Fourth quarter comeback, win by 3.
Yeah, but then again, it might not be a comeback.
Who do you see winning this game, Cody?
I believe Indiana might. Because, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a four-quarter comeback. I think they're going to at least 2 touchdowns.
Will be interesting to see.
At least 1 or 2 touchdowns. Because, dude, Indiana was pretty good last year.
Yep. And I don't think they really had anyone. I don't think they had really anyone go into the draft, any big names. So, and then the last game we're going to talk about that's been just a thing in the making for the last 2 years. Michigan and Florida Gators. I love my Michigan team. I really don't know who's going to take I don't know who's going to take the W with this. All I'm going to say, it's going to be one hell of a game, and I'm going to love watching this game when it happens on ABC. Cody, who do you see coming out on top? I hate to put you in this spot. They're 2 great teams.
Yeah, they are. But Florida. Oh man. But Florida. I wouldn't say struggling bad, but for the past couple of years, they've been having problems with their coach.
Yep, and then, coach and quarterbacks, and they've got their quarterback situation. They say he's sorted out, so we'll see.
And last year they had everything sorted out. But the Florida's got home field advantage, don't they?
No, it's actually in Dallas. So it's neutral full. It's going to be at that game, so it's going to be at the stadium where Cowboys play.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Neutral. So honestly, you can pull up, but just wait and see what happens. Basically, say who I know. I don't know who's going to win it, but Michigan has experienced starters at every position, but they do too. So we'll see who comes out. It's going to be under who makes mistakes. It's going to be who makes the less mistakes.
Yeah, but see, Michigan is not I mean, they're gonna be wrong. No offense, but they make mistakes here and there, but they all do, and so do Florida. But then again, I'm going to have to say Michigan.
All right, I like that.
Go blue.
So we're gonna go to the top 25 predictions, and then we're gonna talk about the conferences as well. But we're gonna do our own top 25 predictions. This is ours. It's not going under what the top 25 is right now. So my top 25, and Cody, I apologize in advance if you hate me for this first pick, but I see this as the most dominant team so far, and I watched them in spring training camp or the spring game, and they just look dominant. So I'm going to say Alabama number 1, Clemson number 2. I see Florida in 3rd, Michigan in 4th, Michigan State 5th, Florida State 6th, Washington 7, Penn State 8, Ohio State 9, Georgia running out the top 10, LSU in 11, Auburn 12, Tennessee 13th, Utah 14th, because I say that team is getting more experience, and they're going to be, I think they're going to be a little bit of a threat, not a big threat this year, but a little pain in the side of who they're playing this year. Texas in 15, West Virginia 16, Oklahoma 17, Nebraska 18, Oregon 19, Arizona topping off 20, North Carolina 21, Wisconsin 22, South Carolina, the Gamecocks 23, Maryland has 24, and Iowa 25th. Now, Cody, do you have any questions on any of those teams I just rounded off?
Carolina.
Which Carolina, North or South?
South.
South Carolina. Well, I think they're going to be ranked, but I just don't think they're going to make a huge impact this year. I just see them putting, some type of effort trying to stay ranked this year.
However, we're going to beat the shit out of them again this year, but, it is. is what it is. I really ain't got no, I really got no questions, man. But you know, that's just me because I can't stand Scar, man. You know me.
I know.
I'm sorry.
You had 2 girlfriends that were Gamecocks fans.
Yeah,
but,
they love their cocks.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I did too. So Cody, it is your turn for your top 25. Go ahead, sir.
Alright then. But,
yeah, mine will be up on the screen right now, so you guys will see mine, and then Cody's.
Alright, so I don't want you to hate me.
I won't.
For number 1, and I do have reasons if you have any questions. Number 1 is Penn State.
Why?
Oh, come on, man.
I want to stop. I just want to stop you right there. I know. There's going to be a rant. There's going to be a rant. Why?
I'm going to tell you why. Come on, man. Come on, look. They went, what, 11-3. Okay.
Okay.
It's just, come on. They came back and beat Ohio State. And I'm dissing Ohio State right now. They beat Ohio State. And I don't understand why Ohio State still had a playoff opportunity. Even though they got the shit beat out of them by us. 31-0. Lost by 3 by a very, very good offense. What was it, Southern Cal?
I'm not exactly sure, but I'll take your word for it.
But I'm just saying, you know, they can handle their own. And I'm saying if they were to play us in the playoffs, they'd at least scored 2 touchdowns. So I definitely think they're going to be the team to watch this year. But then, you know, that's my, like I said, that's going to be my first pick. Like I said, I'm definitely going to be wrong because you really can't pass Alabama. So
okay.
Penn State's number 1. North Carolina State is 2nd. I'm going to have Wisconsin 3rd, okay. Alabama 4th, Michigan 5th, Clemson 6th, Oklahoma 7th, Washington 8th, Wisconsin 9, and Ohio State at 10. I'm going to have Florida State at 11, Stanford at 12, LSU 13th, Georgia 14th, Auburn 15th, Miami 16th, West Virginia 17th, Louisville at 18th. I'm going to have Florida at 19th. At number 20, I'm going to have Kansas State. At 21, I'm going to have Oklahoma State, Texas 22nd, USF is 23rd, Virginia Tech 24th, and Tennessee 25th.
Okay, I have 2 questions for you. Number 1 is, why do you rank NC State so high?
Well, to be honest, every team they play, I mean, don't get me wrong, they got the shit beat out of them a couple times this year. But you got all these other teams that all their starters are going to be gone. Okay, and they still got some of their they still got starters and everything else on offense and defense. The reason why I'm saying that, they gave us a fit this year. They gave everybody a fit, but they always came up short. And I have a feeling they're going to be one of the top contenders in the ACC.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So, like I said, you know, we lost a couple of guys, and so did Florida State. And then I'm just saying, they're definitely going to be. I mean, if you're an ACC fan, I'm going to have to watch out for NC State.
Okay, I actually have 2 questions. Next one is Stanford. What do you see in Stanford that's going to be in the top half of the 25?
Well, I really think that they're going to be. You know, there's about the same team. They really haven't had anyone leave. So, but anyway, I think Stanford's going to be a lookout for as well. But then again, I think I have to have my schedule and everything. See,
okay.
Bear with me.
You're fine. So, honestly, I think maybe the top 25 might shape up to be some kind of mixture between yours and my 25, but only time can tell. It really depends,
man. Like I said, it really depends.
Okay, and the last question I want to put out, why do you rank Florida so low?
But the reason why, it's just that they always had a hard time. Ever since Tebow left, they always had a difficult time. And then for the past, they had problems. We talked about it when they had problems with their quarterback.
Are you just trying to give Broman a fucking cringe attack when he watches this?
Yeah, fuck you, bro, man. So
Hi, bro.
anyway,
if Broman watches this, we'll probably hear about it.
But dude, I'm not dissing Florida in any way. I'm just saying that I could be wrong. They could be dominant in the SEC. As long as they beat the shit out of Carolina, we'll be okay.
All right.
But then again, man, it's just, I was thinking up as I was going as I made my picks, but I mean, the reason why I picked Florida low, because I mean, you got Louisville, and you got West Virginia, and you got Miami and Auburn and Georgia. I mean, they're a little bit dominant than Florida, but then again, I could be wrong. So.
All right, I actually have no more further questions on your 25, so we're gonna move on to the last segment of the not only the cast but the NCAA part of it. So conference standings. I don't know if you've done any of your homework on some of these conferences, Cody, but we're gonna talk about the Big Ten. Excuse me, right off the bat. So. Big Ten includes Indiana, Maryland, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, and Wisconsin. Now, I'm not going to make you go off where these guys are going to be at. I want you to pick 5 and put them from lowest to highest. I will go first. My lowest one right now, I think it's going to be Michigan State. It's going to be Penn State. I'm going to put Michigan at 3rd. I'm going to put Iowa at number 2 because they are an upcoming team as well. And then I'm going to put Ohio State, as much as I don't want to. I'm going to put Ohio State as number 1. Just in conference standing, because they have a tough schedule, and so does Michigan. So it'll all depend on who's going to, cope with that harder schedule. So I think Ohio State might have the edge by 1 to 2 games. If you want me to list off those teams again, Cody, I can. But what do you think your top 5 for the Big Ten is?
Well, I'm not saying you could. I really think I want to put Michigan first.
Okay.
I'm scratching my head at the second pick, but
it's a tough division.
You got Indiana that's up and coming and everything because they almost beat Ohio State. And then I'm just saying, I mean, they can keep up with the big names. But see, the only thing I really don't want to make the wrong pick here, but second, I want to have Penn State. I want to have Ohio State 3rd. Then I want to have Indiana 2nd. 4th, and I want to have Maryland 5th.
All right. I actually have no questions with that, so we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go to the Big 12. I am not too familiar with the Big 12. We're gonna do top 5 again for the same thing until We're also going to do the SEC. We're going to do the ACC and the Pac-12, and that will do it. So we're going to go to the Big 12. Big 12, Colorado, Baylor. These are all the teams I'm listing off. Iowa State, Oklahoma, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Texas, Missouri, Texas A&M, Nebraska. Or I don't know why I put Nebraska in there. They're not part of the Big 12. And then Texas Tech. So I see. I'm going to do my number one for the Big 12 is, I'm going to say Oklahoma, Kansas State, Texas, the Texas Longhorns. Put Kansas at number 4, and then I'm going to put Baylor at 5. Who do you got?
Baylor.
Why Baylor? I was watching them in the half, or about, I would say the last month of last year, and they were putting more of their backups in and on their receiving anyways, and some of their cornerbacks, and I see potential that they might finish above. I'm going to say above 6 wins this year. I don't see them going too far, but I think Baylor might have some. I could be wrong about this, but I always kind of like the underdog, and they might be a threat of the Big 12 this year. They might not be, but we'll have to wait and see. But I see they're going to be a threat this year.
Okay. All right, for my pick, I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Texas, and TCU.
Okay. I like that. I have no questions with that. So we're going to move on to SEC. SEC has a lot of good teams, and it is really going to hard to pick top 5. And I know there's more than 5 big teams. So, okay, I'm going to put Alabama number 1. I'm going to put, man, this is really hard for me to do. I'm going to put LSU for number 2. They showed a lot of fight in their last season, especially having Fournette. Fournette is gone now, but I still see them as a decent team. Going to be this upcoming year, so that's my number 2. Number 3, I'm going to put Florida. Number 4, I'm going to put Tennessee, and number 5, I'm going to put Auburn.
All right, I can't argue with that.
What do you think?
Well, I'm going to put, of course, Alabama first. And for second, I'm going to put Georgia. Then I'm going to put Auburn. Florida. Damn, this is tough. And I'm going to put Tennessee last. Because, I mean, look, to be honest, Tennessee has been keeping up with most of the SEC too. I mean, they went 9-4, and they were 4-4 in the conference in the East. So definitely, I think Tennessee is going to be worth looking to in the SEC and everything else. They do have a lot of dirty players in the last year, so that's my pick.
Okay, we're gonna move on to ACC, and I'm pretty sure I know you're gonna put Clemson. So these are all the teams, and I think these are all the right teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. So all these teams are Boston, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Miami, NC State, North Carolina, Tar Heels, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. I think that's all right?
Yep.
Okay, so I still think Clemson is the number 1 team in the ACC, so I'm going to put them at number 1, and I'm not putting them at number 1 just because of you. That's what I think. So I'm going to put Clemson at number 1. I'm going to put Florida State at number 2. I'm going to put the Tar Heels 4th. I'm going to put NC State 3rd. And my number 5 is, I would put Wake Forest, but I really don't see much of a difference from last season. I think they're still struggling. So I'm going to put, I want to say Virginia over Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
It's just, the ACC is just, they're all struggling in their kind of way. They all have their talent, and they build around it. So, I mean, this is really tough for me to put Virginia, like, over Virginia Tech, because they're both good teams. But Virginia Tech has been struggling harder than Virginia, so that's why I'm putting Virginia 5th.
But see, I'm not to brag. I mean, I don't want to brag, but the ACC had a lot of more bowl wins last year that was thrown at them, except for one team, and I forgot who that was.
Hey, at least you weren't Ohio State and didn't score any points. Like every other team scored points.
I mean, 31-0.
Yeah, that's horrible. Like, come on.
But yeah, I know, right? But anyway, so for my top pick for the ACC, I had to go with my team, Clemson. For second, I'm gonna go with NC State. Third is Florida State. Fourth is Louisville, and fifth is gonna be Miami. And don't get me wrong.
I think Miami is an upcoming team, and I think we see some good stuff coming from them. I mean, David Njoku, a tight end, got drafted by the Browns, came from Miami. Miami is really, really notorious for some good tight ends. Look at Greg Olsen, for example. You know, I think that's a great pick right there. It's just going to be an interesting year in every conference, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of the ACC, I mean, think about it. I mean, Miami was struggling for the past couple of years, but then, you know, before they played us, you know, we played them 2 years ago, and we beat the living shit out of them. I mean, and they were still keeping up. Yeah, I mean, they were still winning and everything else. But then last year, I mean, they only finished 9-4, and they were 5-3 in the conference of the Coastal. So Miami's definitely going to be the lookout also for the ACC, and so is NC State. So.
Okay, I like that. So with that being said, ACC is done, and the last conference we're going to talk about is the Pac-12. I'm not too well knowledged on this, but these are the teams: Arizona, Arizona State, California, Oregon, Oregon State, Stanford, UCLA, USC, Utah, Washington, and Washington State. I believe this is, yep, that's correct. So, this is tough because I really did not pay attention much to the Pac. So I'm going to put Oregon number 1. They've been recruiting some good people. I think they got a good upcoming team within the next couple years. I think they're going to have a decent season this season, so that's why I'm putting them at number 1. I'm going to put Arizona at number 2. I'm going to put USC for number 3. I'm going to put Washington at number 4 only because they fought their hearts out against Alabama, and I respect that. And they lost John Ross, which was a huge guy for their offense, but I still think they're going to have a good year this year. And then my number 5, I don't know why I have Utah in the Pac-12. I thought they were still in the Big Ten, but they think they might be still in there. I don't know about that. So my number 5 is going to be Stanford. I think Stanford's going to have another good year. So I think they're going to be another key, notable team to look at.
So, I mean, I was going to make Stanford my first pick.
Okay. And you pretty much explained why Stanford earlier, so we really don't need to talk back about that. So, I mean, the words are on there, and, you know, we'll see what they do in action-wise, because actions speak louder than words.
So I'm going to have Stanford number 1. I'm going to have USC number 2. I'm I'm gonna have Washington number 3, and I've been paying attention to Oregon and their recruiting and everything. I'm gonna have them at 4th, and then 5th is a little bit of a head scratcher on that one and everything. So I'm gonna have to go Washington State.
Okay. Washington State, that's going to be interesting to see how they play this year. I did not look into them much.
I mean, they only finished 8-5. I mean, they were 7-2 in the conference of the Pac-12 North. I mean, they were right behind Washington.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to be another, like I said, that's going to be another thing that's going to be noticeable, a notable look close at it, more of an alert thing. So we'll see how the Pac-12. I know it's been they're more of a lower conference. They're not like a big thing like the SEC or the Big Ten or the Big 12. So to see how everything lays out on that, and there are probably going to be a lot of people that do not like our predictions, but this is all predictions. This is not the actual top 25. This is not the actual standing. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to talk about this week in and week out, how people's performances, the team performances, were good or bad, what their season's going to shape out way for football, for college and the pros. Same thing with NBA as well, and then NASCAR too, and Formula One and Indy. That will be interesting since still all the racing seasons are starting to wind down. So it'll be all interesting to see what happens. We got plenty of stuff to talk about in the upcoming weeks, and hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, this whatever you want to call it, the WolverSportsCast as I call it. If you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you guys next time. Next week, I will try and get another one of these podcasts going next Tuesday. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Later.
Bye.
Later.